All right, there we go. Looks like we just got filled short. Super small size here after hours. Worries in here. There we go. I think we got some delayed echo. I think I fixed that. So we're trading some of these Tradeify accounts. I've really liked Tradeify here the last couple of weeks. Started using them more. I haven't gotten a payout on them yet, but I'm going to try and document my progress here. Kind of start to finish with a fresh set of Tradeify accounts. And so starting them off actually with a red day, down about $1,000 on Friday. And so I've got about $1,000 left in drawdown and got to slowly crawl back out of that and then hit the 3K profit target. So 550K accounts. And yeah, just wanted to show what that process looks like, start to finish, document it, trying to learn a few things for myself personally, and maybe it helps someone out there as well. So futures trading lower a little bit here, kind of off of some news where we had a credit downgrade for the U.S. government. It's never good. You can think of a credit rating similar to like your credit score. You know, to get approved for most, quality top tier loan interest rates, you need like a 720 credit score or higher, for a good mortgage rate or for a good auto loan or whatever. And so you think of it that basically the US government just got downgraded from their 720 credit score to one tier lower. They just lost it. And so, not the end of the world, but starting to, some red flags. I think we had a separate ratings agency. There's two big ones out there. There's Moody's and S&P, and I'm pretty sure the S&P dropped us 6 months ago or a year ago or something like that. So again, it's not the end of the world, but it is, some cause for concern that our servicing our debt as a nation is becoming quite a bit more difficult. And so mark it down on that. And also, I mean, if you look back, if you just zoom out, um, we've just been running. If you look at the daily chart real quick, and let me hide everything. I mean, look at just the last, really since the beginning of April, we've been nothing but trending up. Um, this is the futures chart, so there's some time decay. So I usually actually, when I'm looking higher time frames, I like to go to the actual ETFs. And so there's no decay on this asset. This is just the true NASDAQ equivalent ETF version of the NASDAQ that we are super close to all-time highs again. We sold off within a matter of weeks, and then we're right back up within a matter of weeks, and it's a pretty insane recovery. If you put it into perspective, I like to go to the S&P. You can see the same thing. I mean, we got a couple of gap downs, gap ups. It's just a really volatile first half of 2025. And so we've kind of been all over the place. If you compare that to the COVID sell-off, I know a lot of traders out there started during this time where, we sold off, COVID-19 hit, the economy kind of went grinding to a halt, and we had a really solid sell-off and then a very quick recovery. This is throwing similar vibes to that. Some of the tariff news, starting to really, it's not coming to an end, but things are starting to solve themselves. And so we've got some optimism being priced into the market here with the action over the last few weeks. But all that to say, hey, we went down fast, we came back up fast, and hey, maybe we need a little bit of sales. And I personally have been trying to short this market through a lot of this. I've had some good shorts, but I've gotten hurt on some of these rallies just because we have gone so far so fast, and it's quite extended. But there's the old saying, markets can stay irrational much longer than you can stay solvent. Meaning, hey, even though we are recovering so fast and we are going up so fast and so high, and it feels like we need to pull back, markets can keep going. They can stay irrational and they can keep going up much longer than you can keep shorting it and keep losing and blowing your accounts. So, all that to say, here I am shorting the market again after hours. and it's working quite a bit. I was shorting more or less just a back test, a little resistance zone. As we broke a new low, came back up, and that was really my spot. And so I'm actually, this is my first trade of the week, and it looks like we're bouncing off of that 9 EMA. And so usually what I like to do is take one of those in, and then I'm using Ninja Trader here on another screen that it'll move the rest of these to break even once I get to a certain profit level. And the goal with this trade is just get a quick green, something to have on the books to start out Monday morning. Not risking too much so that if it is red, it's not like I'm starting my week on a terrible note. So yeah, not a bad look. It seems to be working out right now. And we'll kind of leave this trade and let it work out. But slow markets, it may take an hour or two. We'll see how much I keep this screen open for, but all good things. So I'm just back looking at, where more or less I would want my targets to be, and my risk reward settings actually set it up pretty well, kind of near that prior support. So maybe I should just below 250, 98. Let's modify that, and then I usually check on my other screen that it went through well on my trade copier. I use the NinjaTrader and then Replicanto to do it, and it works out pretty well. And so I could, if I wanted to get greedy, really, I mean, you could go and retest this. What is this? After hours pre-market low. Yeah, it's a pre-market low during Globex on Thursday. And I'm trying to remember what news we had on Thursday. We had some rally, but then I was scrolling back. If I go to the 10 minutes, probably easier to see. Just this rally right here. I mean, that's the move. I'd love for us to go retest 21,000, and then you hold that. That's the bull's signal for the long. Probably won't get all the way there, I wouldn't think. I mean, we got a full week coming up this week, and then heading into Memorial Day 3-day weekend. So Friday's normal, and then we're closed on Monday for Memorial Day next week, so a week from tomorrow. So maybe we get the pullback to close kind of that area this week, and then we're usually pretty bullish heading into Memorial Day. It's kind of anti-American to not be. So really towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, that's what I'm looking for. Some bullish sentiment, but you kind of want to hold and respect kind of this area here. Let's see if I can let's get a good level here. So the highest node, yeah, just shy of 21,000. 21,020. And so for sure I want that 68. So you got a little baby level there. I'm trying to cover that full node. And I might even just push that to 80. I think those of you that have traded futures before, 80s and 20s are something that gets respected pretty often on the NASDAQ. 80s and 20s. So let's say, yeah, we should be support there. It's already pulling the support one. That would probably be my first target. And if I zoom way out, I don't love doing this on the futures because, again, it's a decaying asset, but that's more or less a prior. You can see you've got some touches. I don't hate that zone for pullback. The other thing I do look at is I look at fibs. And so if you run a fib just on this break here, so kind of resistance, and then break, you should get a 618 pullback from that high, which puts us at that 800. That would be like the ideal full pullback and hold area for the bulls. That level I just drew was the 382 near that 50% range. So it could go lower than my level. It's kind of the first stop, and then the final stop, I should say, is down at this area right here where we just drew, kind of down to that area. The other thing I use in my system to really kind of find the trend is just moving averages. You can see we've pretty much rode this major moving average all the way up. Gave a couple of false signals. So I mean, like all things, it works till it doesn't. But this has worked really well for me over the years. So we're getting a breakdown. We really need to confirm under this latest low, 2191, and then we should get, fill that area. So I don't know if you heard that sound. That was NinjaTrader's. The add-on I use is Replicanto. It just moved a couple of my deals into the money here. And so we broke a new low on NQ there. And basically it's going to take profit once we go hit those EMAs. I don't love that. So I'm probably going to take one in right now. So I'm going to do that over here on the this screen.
Order filled.
Take that one in. The reason I'm doing that, I think there's a higher probability of backtesting this 9 than reaching that full target on that contract. And I'm actually going to give myself some breathing room. I'm still locking in some profit on this one. I'm going to lock in just over that 21. And I think technically that should work out. Let's get greedy, because why not? We're going to put it there. I'm going to lock in 8 points. So it'll be, $15 post fees. 15 points, $15 times 5 accounts. Lock that in on the trade. And so realized P&L is about $100 after fees, with the potential to make a couple hundred. All right, getting some sales. um, yeah, I'm probably gonna watch this for the next. There we go. We just might get this TP here. One thing I noticed in after hours, it's like every 30 minutes you get the impulse move. Definitely at the top of the hour, but even some of these 30-minute candles, you get the impulse. And so we just got an interesting candle. If I zoom in on that, I mean, you can see that's pretty wide range, up to 50, down to 32. I wanted 25. I think really we could break below this and really go test these 190s or even my. I mean, you lose this level here, the 190s, and that's ultimately where I want to get to. But with it being the beginning of the week, I think I'm going to go ahead and just close out.
Order filled.
And here my NinjaTrader went off, and so if I pull that guy over, we made $200, all within. Oh man, how long we've been going here? So stream's been up for about an hour. Made $200 times 5, so made $1,000 on an evaluation count. So not a true money yet. Again, just documenting my process, start to finish on some fresh set of accounts. So made $700 by 5 accounts with Top Step, and then just did $200 on Tradeify, 5 set of accounts. So passing those evaluations, and then going to look towards a funded account. And yeah, you don't need to go heavy size when markets are moving like they are right now. I did 3 MNQ, shorted in this $300 range, and then slowly just scaled out, and then moved to break even. And if we were later on in the week, and I'd built up some profits and we had some time, and maybe we saw a little bit more aggressive reaction from this news. I mean, it's pretty aggressive. We sold after hours Friday, and then we've, as soon as we opened up tonight, we've been selling. But I could have maybe held one more runner, but with it being the very beginning of the week, just wanted to get some green, just locking it in. Also, it's getting late. I mean, you only have so much mental capital, and so I haven't had the greatest success of just leaving stuff overnight. It actually affects my sleep, so I like to just be completely flat, close out, and call it a night, and hit it again tomorrow. And look, futures are open 23 hours a day, and this isn't even the main market session, right? It's just Globex. So there's no rush to pass these accounts. I mean, the whole tortoise and the hare analogy is, you could push and try and get these passed in, 2 days or 1 day or whatever, depending on what firm you're at. And next thing you know, you wake up, it's 10 days later, and you've gone through a couple sets of evaluations, and you're like, man, if I just took my first set slow, it would have worked out great to my favor, and I'd be done, and saved all those fees. So here we are, starting the week green, and we'll see if we get the continuation tomorrow morning to the downside.